So let's move forward then. Let's
Shall I? Okay.
Yeah. So today's agenda will be like we'll have introduction of the speaker and organization. Then we'll have some our speaker Pritam will deliver on Mule for cryptography module. Then we'll have post meetup announcement. At last we'll have trivia Q&A, and then we'll wrap up.
Shall I go ahead?
Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah. So about the organizer and speaker, so Rituja, would you like to go first?
Yeah, so thank you, Abhishek. So I'm Rituja Gupta. I'm working as a consultant in Capgemini, and I have around 3.4 years of experience working in IT industry. And I am also a certified developer as well. So I'm looking forward to give you about this cryptography Preetham will be hosting today. So thank you so much, Preetham, for joining in a very short notice today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rituja. No issues.
Yeah, so Akib joined, but I guess he's having. Okay, Akib is there. So Akib, would you like try to go next? Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, actually, there is some bandwidth issue over the internet, so I keep rejoining. So I thank you all for joining this, and thank you, Preetham, for helping us on this meetup on a very short notice. So my name is Akib Javed, and with Cognizant as my associate, and we are looking forward for this interesting topic that Preetham is going to present. So over to you, Abhishek.
Yeah. Thank you, Akib. So hi everyone, this is Abhishek. I have an overall of 6+ years of experience and completely in integration, out of which 4 years are in MuleSoft. I'm working as an associate solution architect in Epicero, and also I'm a MuleSoft mentor. So that's all from my end. Pritam.
Yeah, sure. So myself, Preetham Deshmukh. Overall, I have 8+ years of experience, and currently I've been working as an associate solution architect at Epicero. I'm a MuleSoft certified developer, and also MuleSoft mentor and MuleSoft leader for Gopal Group. So that's pretty much about myself.
Sure. So we can go on next slide. So before we start, we have a safe harbor statement. So both the speaker and organizers are organizing this meetup in individual capacity only. We are not representing our company here. This presentation is strictly for learning purpose only. Organizer or presenter do not hold any responsibility that same solution will work for your business requirement also. This presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. Next slide, please. Yeah. So over to you, Pritam. Now you can. All podium is here. You can start your meetup.
Sure. Okay, so let's start with the today's discussion on Mule4 cryptography module. Okay, let's quickly go through the agenda. Okay, so we'll see what is cryptography first, how to install this extension in Studio. Then there are three cryptography strategies which are supported by this module, that is PGP, JC, and XML cryptography. So we'll go through these three strategies in detail. We'll see how this cryptography strategies work, and we'll also walk you through the demo for the same. And apart from these three cryptography strategies, this model also supports few general checksum operations. So we'll also walk you through these operations, and we'll see a demo for the same. Okay. So let's start first with what is cryptography. So I would like to hear from the audience if anyone would like to share their thoughts on like what is cryptography.
Guys, feel free to unmute yourself, or you can use the chat uh, to ask your question or answer anything.
It's okay if it is wrong. Like let's
Hello,
keep it interactive. Yeah.
like converting the normal text into ciphertext and then again decrypting with the help of key.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, cryptography, it's a technique of securing an information and communication over a network. So, basically, it's a process, as some rightly said, it's a process of converting an ordinary plain text into an unintelligible text and vice versa. So, we can say it's a method of storing and transmitting a data so that it can be sent to only those for whom it is intended to. Okay, so let's say if you consider an example, when we work on a client project, so there can be very sensitive information like username, passwords, or maybe we can consider any client internal information. So it's not like it's not a good practice to share this info via text, chat, or maybe email. So it's always a good practice to secure this or encrypt this info via good encryption methodology. So that's where cryptography plays an important role. And using this, we can encrypt the data, and we can perform encryption, decryption, message signing, and validation of these messages. So this module provides capabilities for symmetric encryption and decryption, asymmetric encryption and decryption of messages, then message signing and signature validation. So all this, using this, we can perform the encryption. Okay. Then, as I mentioned, that we have the three different strategies. That is PGP. First is PGP, that is pretty good privacy. Second is JC, Java cryptography extension, and the third is XML for signing or encrypting XML documents or elements. So let's first see how to install this extension in Studio. So it's pretty simple. All we need to do is just to go to Mule Palette and search in Exchange for the cryptography module and add it in Studio. So once you install the extension, it will look like this. So this is how it looks in Mule Palette. We have this crypto module, and all these are the operations which are supported by this module. So we have a few operations related to JC, that is Java cryptography extension, then PGP, a few operations related to PGP, then XML like XML encryption operations, and as I mentioned, general operations for checksum, that is calculate checksum and validate checksum. So we'll see all these operations in detail in today's demo. Okay, so let's start with PGP cryptography. So PGP cryptography is used for signing, encrypting, and decrypting the text or emails, and it's basically used to increase the security of email communications. So we can encrypt all or maybe part of message using this cryptography strategy. And one advantage which PGP comes with is it combines the data compression and encryption to secure the messages. So basically, the compression reduces the size of payload, and in turn, it will reduce the transmission time of our application. So let's see first how PGP works internally. Yeah. Okay, so let's consider this pictorial dia representation here to understand how it works internally. So say suppose if I have two users, user A and user B, and user A wants to send an encrypted data to user B. Okay, so in this case, user B will send it will generate two keys. One is public and private. It will send the public key to user A. Using this public key, user A will encrypt the data, and it will send the encrypted data to user B. Okay, now once the user B receives the encrypted data, it will make use of its private key, and then it will decrypt it. So as mentioned here, for encryption, it will make use of third-party public key, and for decryption, it will use its own. Any doubts in terms of understanding how PGP works? Because it's very important to to understand in demo how we are going to configure this strategy.
It once again.
Yeah, sure. So say if we have two users, user A, user B, and user A wants to send an encrypted data to user B. Okay, so user B will generate provide two keys, like it will generate two keys, public and private. It will send the public key to user A. Using this public key, user A will be encrypting the data, and it will send the encrypted data to user B. Okay, and once the user B receives encrypted data, making use of its own private key, it will decrypt it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
And where are the keys stored?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Where are the keys stored?
Okay, so we can store keys in a source and resources folder of our Mule application.
So these keys will pass at the start of the link, or inbuilt we need to set up these keys.
See, currently for this demo, we will be creating this public and private key. So there are a few steps for generating this.
Preetham, just a minute. Ravi, can you
Can you
please?
please?
Now you can it was echoing.
Yeah, even from it was okay. Yeah, so there are a few steps which we need to execute for generating these keys. But I mean, for demo purpose, we'll see how to do it. But then, I mean, if you work on client project, so client will be providing you this public and private keys. Is it clear?
I have one question regarding to the public key. So it will means at the time of connection, it will be shared with the public key shared with us, or it will be provided before then that.
So we'll be importing a public key. So a file will be created .gpg file. So that file will have to store in our application. So
Okay,
we'll
that
be,
means the public key is always present with us, and we need to encrypt that by using this public key and send it to that.
right. So basically, encryption will happen using this public key, and we'll be saving. Say, suppose if you are decrypting in the same application, so we'll need the private key as well.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
We have
We
a
have one question
question.
from yes, sir.
Yeah.
So he's asking, can you differentiate between PGP and encryption algorithm like SHA or RSA?
I'm not sure about SHA and RSA. So basically, RSA it's an algorithm for which you will be encrypting the data, right? The one who asked the question, I'm not sure.
Yes, sir. If you want, you can unmute and you can ask your question. Okay, let's move. Might be once you work with the demo, it will be more clear.
Sure.
So one more question we have from Neeraj. Do we have to create and configure certificates for this setup?
No. So basically, we'll just need to configure these two keys, and now for the demo purpose, we'll show you how to do that. But then, client will be providing you this two files for public and private key whenever you'll be working on client projects.
Okay, we can move forward with.
Okay.
So to answer that question, sorry to interrupt. Please. So PGP is a piece where we say it's a type of cryptography. It's a module of encryption, and RSA, of course, is an algorithm. You talked about SHA-1, SHA-2, or SHA-256, right? These all are algorithms. PGP is an upper umbrella which can use multiple algorithms to create or to encrypt data. Right. If you talk about PGP also, you can get different type of keys. You can use asymmetric. It will be either symmetrical or asymmetrical type of cryptography, and it might use your PGP, sorry, RSA, SHA-1, whatever you want to use, right?
Yes.
So, like in today's world, you'll see a lot of we talk a lot of cryptocurrencies and everything, right? So, majorly the algorithms used there are SHA-2 and SHA-256, especially for Bitcoin. I'm talking about. Did I answer the question or? Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
So basically, PGP is an approach. Actually, it's an approach for encryption.
Correct.
That is, and these algorithms are something different. Like these approaches can use any algorithms. So
right.
Yeah, that's how. If you go to the computer science subject, I think there will be a separate subject for cryptography itself in computer networks.
Correct.
So yeah, PGP is a separate approach. So that is not comparable actually, but yeah, it's related.
So PGP, and these are like you are encrypting the data itself. When we say securing over the network, that means there are multiple perspectives to it, right? When you encrypt the data itself first and then send over the network, which is also a secure channel, right? Like we configure HTTPS, so it's a secure channel. But in this approach, we are encrypting the data itself first, rather before sending it to the HTTPS channel. Okay?
Yes.
So
PGP. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. PGP we can compare with TLS SSL. Okay. That is also an approach, and we use algorithms for TLS SSL also.
Correct.
So, yeah, we can compare it at that level. Yeah.
But make sure to be mindful of the difference between configuring your TLS because it is a secured channel, and
Yes.
cryptography is all about the encryption of data.
Yes, yes. TLS works at the transport layer
Correct.
of the network
And this
stack.
is an application level
Yeah,
or
this is at
data.
the application data level.
Hmm.
We are, yeah,
Correct.
while transmitting the data. Yes, yes. Good, good, good. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Sandeep.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Shiva.
Thanks, Shiva. So maybe like once we walk you through the key generation, then maybe it will be more clear because we'll be using the algorithms with like SHA, RSA for generating the symmetric and asymmetric keys. Okay. So for generating key, there are various tools like Git, Key Store, and Cleopatra. So in today's session, we'll be showing you how we can generate the key using Git commands. Okay. So on a high level, I'll just walk you through like what are the steps we are going to generate, and then we'll show you how we are going to generate the keys. So we'll execute it. Okay. So first we'll be executing a git command for generating the key. And once the key generation is done, while generating this key generation, it will ask you for email address and name and a passphrase. So we need to mention these details for generating the key. And once the key is generated, we can list down all the keys using a git command, and we can identify our key using our name and email address, which we have mentioned in previous step. And we'll get these details from where we can fetch the fingerprint and key id. So we will need this key id and fingerprint while configuring the pgp configuration in studio. Okay. And after that we can import the public and private key using a few git commands. So let me just go back to Git. Okay, so I have this key, commands in handy here. So okay, so this is the key generation command. So let's enter a name. We need okay, it asks us for a passphrase. Let's set it. It should include a integer and a capital letter. So we need to follow this conventions here while generating a passphrase. Okay, so here's the key is generated. Let's execute a command for getting the list of all the keys. Okay, so here's the email address which I just mentioned while generating the key. So from this section, this is my fingerprint and this part is the key ID. So we just need to note down these two details as we'll require it while configuring the PGP config. So this is the fingerprint. And this is the key ID. So key ID will be needed for exporting the private key. So now let's export the public key here. We need to mention the email address, proper email address which we have entered while generating the key. Cross check, it was Preetham.Deshmukh. Since it's already exists, I will overwrite the current one. Rename it maybe. Okay, let me check if I'm doing a mistake here. Okay. I'm passing a wrong email. Yeah. So this is the public key which is generated. Okay. And in file for exporting the private key, all I need to do is just I will need this key ID which we got from previous step. Maybe private one. Okay, so while exporting private key, it will ask you passphrase. So we need to make sure that we are entering the same passphrase which we generated in first step. So here's the private key. Okay, so we'll need to save these two files under source main resources. Let me just show you the demo. Okay, so here's a simple application which I've created. So wherein we'll be using PGP encrypt, decrypt, signing of message, and validation of the signature. Okay, so I've already saved under source main resources the public and private key which I've generated. Let's see what all things needs to be filled for the PGP config. Okay, so we need to mention the public keyring, private keyring. So it's the file name, same thing we need to enter here, whatever file name we have mentioned. And so this for encryption, it will make use of public, and for decryption, we can make use of private keyring. So here I've created two configurations, one for encrypt and decrypt, but you can make use of one single configuration for both the fields. And we need to generate a key ID here. So just sit to click on this add icon, and we can enter any key ID. So we'll be using this key ID throughout the applications for encryption, decryption, and the fingerprint which we received while generating the key. A passphrase will be needed for decryption. So if we are making use of a single configuration for both encryption, decryption, we should enter the passphrase and fingerprint here. So here I've created one key ID test crypto, and I've entered the fingerprint. So say, as I mentioned, since I've generated two configs for the encrypt and decrypt, so I'm not entering passphrase here as it is not needed for encryption. Any doubt still now?
I don't see any question.
Okay. So let's move ahead. So here's the algorithm. So once we have done with the configuration, we need to mention the content which needs to be encrypted, and we can select the algorithm. So there are many algorithms which are supported for PGP encryption. We can select any. So for the demo purpose, I've made use of default. And the key ID which we generated, in the config. So same key ID I will be using here. let me just show you the config. So it's the same key ID we need to mention. So same key ID we have used, fingerprint and the passphrase. And here I've mentioned the private keying. So this is the configuration for PGP decrypt. Here's the PGP sign config, wherein we just need to use the same configuration which we have used for encryption. So it will make use of the public key. And we need to pass the key ID which we have generated. And algorithm we can select any. So these all are the algorithms which are supported for signing. Same thing. So while signing the messages, I'm saving a target variable here. So same target variable I will be using for validation against the signature payload. Any doubts? Let me just run the application and show you the demo.
While the code is running, we have one question. Like in PGP encrypt, we have file name failed. So what does it refers to?
File name?
File name field we have, right, in PGP encryption.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
file name field, it's basically the internal file name which we can be used for PGP encryption. And I've not made use of this file name, but then as I know that it can be sent at the PGP header.
To your question, Prasad. Okay.
Any more questions?
I have a question. The public key we stored in a file, right? So it will when it was expired or when it was for 15 days, we need to change the key. In that case, how we need to proceed?
We'll again have to put a public key.
Okay, we have to update manually, or we need to do any other way because of it is a file, right?
Yes. So, as I know, we should have to do it manually. But let me know if anyone has an experience with that.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the payload which we are going to encrypt. We'll just execute it. So this is the encrypted data. And it has decrypted the same. This is the signature signed payload. And while validating, if there are any issues, it will throw an exception. But currently it's the same, like it has match and validation as success, and it has given us the same payload. Any questions, any doubts with PGP?
Hi, Preetham. This is Aditya. I understand the first two steps, encrypting and decrypting. The next two steps like pagination and validation. Signature and validation, right? So that signature and validation, I'm actually not completely aware of whether are we adding a signature over here, and whether it's a self signature or it's like CA authorized signature.
It's a digital signature, like how we do it. So for our message, we are signing that message.
Okay,
so based on
that
the
digital
algorithms which we are
signature is
sending.
okay. So can we just see that properties once again? I just
Yeah,
want to
sure.
understand that more.
Sure.
Okay, so that digital signature is there. Okay, so while providing the signature also we need to provide algorithm. Okay.
Yes, yeah. We can select any algorithm. So these all are the algorithms which are supported.
Okay. So these digital signature belongs to whom? Like these are certificates or this is something different?
See,
Just
this
want to
will be
understand the concept.
based upon the public key which you are sending, right? So here, if you see in the configuration, so we are mentioning the fingerprint and the private key. Sorry. So based on these details, it will be signing the message. So one who have this info, it will be. I mean, that can use this or validate it maybe.
Belongs to the client who will be receiving the message.
Right.
So the authorized at the client authorized. Okay.
So apart from this four, we have few more operations which are for PGP. So we have seen decrypt, encrypt. So we have PGP encrypt and sign. So it's a combination of both. I mean these operations, encrypt and sign. So this will encrypt as well as sign the data. Okay, and PGP encrypt binary for encrypting a binary response stream, and PGP sign binary for getting a binary signature. And we have one more PGP binary to Armand for ASCII Armand representation. That's all. I mean, we have covered almost all in this from PGP. So if we are good with PGP, maybe we can move forward with JC.
Anyone, any question? I don't see anything on chat. I think Pritam, we are good moving forward.
So these are the steps which we just saw, and the demo for PGP. Okay, so let's start with JC cryptography. So it's basically a standard extension to the Java platform and part of Java cryptography architecture. Using JC, we can encrypt, we can generate the key, and message authentication algorithms are also supported with this strategy. So how JC works? So JC comes with two flavors. I mean, we can implement JC cryptography based on password-based encryption or key-based encryption. So using password-based encryption, it enables you to encrypt and sign the content by providing only a single encryption password. So since we just need a single password, we don't need to provide any configurations here for password-based encryption. And key-based encryption, it's pretty similar to PGP and XML. Will be making use of symmetric or either asymmetric keys for performing encryption and signing. So for let's see JCPB. So password per encryption applies a hash function over the password, and it generates a symmetric key that is compatible with the standard encryption algorithms. And since it requires a password, a global configuration element is not needed for this operation. For key base, as I mentioned, we can make use of either a symmetric or asymmetric key for encryption and decryption. So to use JC encrypt and decrypt connector, we need a key store. So this is a key store command using which we can generate a symmetric or asymmetric key. Okay, we'll see how we can do that, and we'll walk you through the demo as well. So it's a key tool command for generating a symmetric key, and we have another for asymmetric key. So the only difference between symmetric and asymmetric is we need to take care of the algorithms which are supported. So symmetric key will support a few algorithms. I have it on handy. So these are all the algorithms which are supported by symmetric key. So whenever we are trying to create a symmetric key, we need to make sure that the proper algorithm is been mentioned here. So it's a key tool command wherein we need to mention the alias name, algorithm, and the path where the key store will be saved, key size, and the store type. It can be either JCKS or JKS. And similarly for asymmetric, as I mentioned, we just need to make sure that the algorithm which is supported by asymmetric encryption is mentioned here. So let's execute this command. It will pop you for a password. So here's the symmetric key. JCKS file is generated for us. Okay. Let's see demo for the same. So I have created demo for both password-based encryption and key-based encryption. So it's the same, a similar format we'll be using here. I mean, we'll be seeing how we can encrypt, decrypt, and sign and validate the message for both password-based encryption and key-based encryption. So the key just which we generated just now will be used for key-based encryption. Okay. So if you see, there are two different operations. One is for JCA decrypt is with the key-based encryption, and for password encryption, this is the operation we can use for encryption, decryption, and signing. So likewise, we have different operations for key-based and password encryption. So let's see what all things we need for configuring it. Okay. So here's the key stored file name which we just generated. So I've already saved it in the store main resources. I'm passing the same here, and the type of the file which we have generated. So this is JCKS, and it supports three: JCKS, PKS, PKCS, and JKS. So we can make use of any. So for this demo purpose, I have used JCKS. The password which we just entered while generating the symmetric key. So this is the password. Now for the demo purpose, I have not encrypted it, but yes, for client applications, it will be encrypted. And all we need to do is we can add as many JC asymmetric or symmetric key in a single configuration and make use of it as and when it is needed in our application. Okay, so I've created, we can create multiple here. I've created two. Okay, JC symmetric key. Let me just show you what all things we need to enter. This is the key ID which we can mention any name here. Okay, the alias which we have used while generating the key, symmetric key, and the password. So these are the details which we need to enter. So this is the one which I have used for symmetric. Any doubts here with the JC configuration for key based? Okay. So we need to mention the algorithm here. So make sure that we are passing the same algorithm which we have used while generating the key. Okay. And the key ID. So these are the key IDs which I have generated. So as I show you that we can create multiple key IDs in a single config. So making use of the key ID name, it will identify which config to be used. Again, for decryption, is the same. We need to make sure that we are passing the same algorithm for decrypting and the key ID. Now the JC encryption, it will give you the payload in the binary format. So I'm just converting it to base64 and I'm sending it for decrypting for the display purpose. Okay. And for signing in, config is pretty simple. I mean, just key ID we need to mention in the algorithm. And for JC validation, I will be validating the current assigned payload with the target variable which I've created. So same thing, I mean, for password based encryption, let me just show you. We don't need to provide any configuration here. All we need to do is just to enter the password and algorithm. So based on this two fields, it will be encrypting the data. Same concept here as well for password based encryption. Okay. And even while decrypting, just need to make sure that we are using the same algorithm and password, or else it will be give an exception. This is for signing password with encryption. So password encryption is pretty simple. Only a password and the algorithm is needed. Wait it from the Postman and show you. So let's see for key-based encryption. So this is the encrypted data. And it has decrypted the same. This is the signed data. And for validation, I'm just printing the same payload. Okay. Let's try to hit password base. So here's the encrypted data for password base. This is the signed data. And the decrypted one. So do we have any doubts? We are clear? Any queries related to JC? So we have covered almost all the operations which are supported by JC. This is decrypt, encrypt, signing and validation for both password and key-based encryptions.
So, anyone, any question till now? Like, I don't see anything on chat. Anyone want to unmute? Anyone want to ask anything? Yeah, so Prashad is asking, like, can you show key-based JC config once?
Yeah, sure. So you want to see this config? We need to mention the key store, the type of the file and the password. And we can create the symmetric and asymmetric keys here.
Prashad, this is what you're looking for? So he's asking, so here we have only symmetric keys.
Yeah, so in XML cryptography, I've made use of asymmetric. I'll show you the same for asymmetric as well.
Okay.
So basically XML uses the JC config only. So all we need to, it will be the same, pretty same. It's just that here is the configuration. Let me. is the same. I've mentioned the type as JKS here. Okay, and you see, or the information which we need to enter is the same, like key ID, alias, and the password. So only thing is that the algorithm will be different here or symmetrical.
So Pritam, he's asking like, is one key sufficient for encryption?
Yes, it's sufficient. So I'm making use of one key only here for JC. It just like I've created the another key. I'm not using it, so it is just created to show you that we can create multiple, but one key is sufficient.
Okay.
So ultimately, it will be fine. It's the key ID from which it will understand like which key info it needs to be used. As if you see in our encryption config, we need to mention the key ID, right? So this is the one through which it will identify which key info needs to be used. Any questions? Config of validation. So it's simple, like we just need to mention the value, expected and actual results here, and it will compare it and mention the algorithm which was used for signing and the key ID. Is this
One question from you, sir. He's asking like, when deploying this application in platform with PGP module, do we need to add any additional properties?
No, we don't need to add any additional property. It's just that we need to make sure that these files are present in our web application.
Yeah, just to make sure like the public and private keys files are there, and apart from that, we don't need, like, already the dependency will be there in the POM card.
Right. So we don't need to perform any additional steps for while deploying it. Okay. I think we are all good with JC. Maybe we can move forward. Okay. Next is XML cryptography. So it's basically used for encryption and decryption of an element within an XML document. So it's I mean it's the created one. It's an old encryption strategy, and it's used only for encryption and of messages for an XML document. So it consists of element path, which is an XPath expression that identifies the element to encrypt. So that's a field, element path, which identifies like which payload needs to be encrypted. So I will show you in the studio. So depending on it, we can make use of a symmetric or asymmetric key for encrypting an XML document. So as I mentioned that will be using the JCI config for XML cryptography. So we have already seen symmetric, and for XML I've made use of asymmetric. So we'll be showing you the same. So this is the demo. Same thing, like we'll be covering XML encrypt, decrypt, signing, and validation of message here for XML. We just switch to the studio. So it's the same configuration which we have seen for JC. Only thing is that here, just to cover both symmetric and symmetric, I've created a asymmetric key and mention the key ID, alias, and password. And the type, earlier we have made use of JC case, here I've made J case. So in the config, it's almost the same which we have seen for the previous two. algorithm and the element path which I mentioned. So in the element path, we need to mention like which part of the payload needs to be encrypted. If we don't mention anything, it will encrypt the whole data. So this is the key ID, and this is the encryption algorithms we can play around with it. I've kept it default. This is the decryption configuration. Same thing for signing. This is the key ID which needs to be, which we have created. And for validate, again we need to mention the key ID here and the contents which needs to be validated. Let's try to hit it. So I've mentioned this M1 tag. So we'll be encrypting only this part. So if you see, this is my M2 tag and this is the encrypted one for M1. Okay. This is my decrypted payload. This is the signatured one. And at the end, it's for validation, I'm displaying the same payload. Any doubts in XML? Are we good with XML? Can I move forward with the desktop PPT? Output of encrypt. Okay. So this is the one.
We have other question, Pritam, that can we encrypt attribute using this?
Yeah, we did the same thing, right?
Yeah. Prasad, did it answer your question?
So maybe you can highlight it again and show it
Yeah.
for Prashant.
So this is the one.
He's saying how to provide the element part
Yeah.
there. Yeah. That one.
Okay. So here I've mentioned we have this field called element path. I mentioned the tag which needs to be encrypted. Does that answer your question, Prasad? Prasad, attribute will be inside the element tag. Right, we are encrypting the value of element. So if you want to encrypt the whole data, maybe all you need to do is we'll just mention the, we won't be mentioning any details there under element path. It will encrypt the complete doc. Okay. So next, we'll see what are the general operations which are supported by this module. Okay, so there are two operations, general operations. One is for calculating the checksum and validating a checksum. So calculate checksum, it's basically it will provide you an checksum value for the payload which you are sending, and you can select the hashing algorithm to use. So we'll show you how, like, what all things needs to be configured for calculating a checksum. And validate checksum, it basically acts as a filter, and it will validate the calculated checksum for you. So basically it is used for message integrity. It will ensure that the message which has entered, like while entering the application and while exiting the application, the message is not tampered. So say suppose, for example, if we need to work on an important file, okay, and we need to ensure that the file is not tampered while or been processed, the data of the file is not changed while processing, while the application is processed, okay. So in that case, this operations will be helpful, and it will make sure that the message is not impacted during the processing of application. Okay, so these are the two operations which are supported: calculate and validate checksum, which is switch to Studio. So based on the algorithm, it will calculate the checksum value. We need to mention the payload here, like for which the value will be calculated. And same like for validation, we need to mention the algorithm which was used for calculating, while calculating the checksum, and the actual and expected. Sorry. So for this payload, it will calculate a value, checksum value. So this is the checksum value which was generated for our payload. And for validation, since the validation has passed, it has not I'm not and basically displaying the same payload here. So we don't have any logger after checksum, validate checksum. But if the validation would have failed, it would have given the validation failed exception. Any questions for these two operations? Yeah.
Anyone, any question?
Yeah, hi, Praveen this side. So, hello.
Yeah, hi Praveen.
Yeah. So, how are we actually calculating the checksum value?
So basically, it's based on the algorithm which we are mentioning.
Can you show the configuration ones?
Right. This is the one. So these all are the algorithms which are supported.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Just to make sure that the message is not impacted in while processing. Any questions? Maybe.
Any other question, guys? I guess no, Pritam.
Okay, I think then that's it from my
So
end.
we are done with the presentation, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So no, just I will just have the like post meetup announcement, and then we'll go for the trivia. So anyone have any question, they can ask now, or if you want, like after trivia also, we can ask that. I guess we are good.
So Abhishek, do you want me to share the PPT?